Yo, what's the deal, man? EVTV Sports back. I know it's been a while, man, but I'm back with Love One to Hate One. You know, y'all should definitely be familiar with him by now. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and I will be going back to doing my old videos how I used to be. But video calls, it's the best thing, man. You definitely get two good people who know boxing to debate, man. It's great. But as y'all can see, we got Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul. Prediction information, let me hear your take, man. Yo, yeah, your lover,
Yeah, what's good?
yeah. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, man. We on record.
Let me. Are you starting recording already?
Yeah,
All right. Well, I thought on the Woodley fight, man. You know, probably yeah, Woodley got power. Um, he is a mixed martial artist, but I feel like Jake Paul, on the other hand, I just feel like Jake Paul. And I know this may sound crazy because a lot of people dislike, and I'm not the big Jake Paul fan myself, but I just feel like Jake Paul, even though people feel like he's making a mockery of the sport, he him he himself is taking the sport very seriously. Like you could tell with the training on top of the pause and shit like that. He's whatever they're doing, some type of mind thing they got going on before the fights and shit like that. He's taking boxing very seriously. He was sparring. He has even sparred pro fighters. Not only Willie beating up in the square circle, maybe in the MMA may be different, but not on square circle. I also feel like the politics favor Jake Paul as well too, because you got to understand Jake Paul. Um, he can make a lot more money in other fights, like we were just talking about earlier. Jake Paul Mayweather, Jake Paul. Shit, even I even heard somebody talk about Jake Paul Conor McGregor. Those are big money fights, Paul. And I don't feel like if Willie beats Paul, who the hell want to see Willie against the fighters? Nobody. It's just you just beat Jake Paul. Wow. I feel like I feel like, oh, this is a win for Jake Paul. I feel like Jake Paul will stop Willie. That's my opinion.
all right. Well, I mean, yeah, that it's just so many things about Jake Paul I gotta say, man. Because I mean, here's the thing about Jake Paul. Um, he, I feel like he's making a mockery of the sport, of course, but you know, it's very interesting because it's just so amazing how people he has really convinced the masses, the public, that he's a real boxer. I mean, he's really done it because he fought Nate Robinson. He fought remember KSI little brother. He fought him first. Then he fought Nate Robinson. Then he fought the other little guy. Then he fought Ben Askren. And we have majority YouTubers and one fat wrestler, retired wrestler, out of
Hold
shape
on, keep
wrestler.
talking.
Yeah. Yellow. Yeah. Yellow. Yeah.
All right, ABC, my bad.
Oh yeah. All right. Technical difficulties, y'all, man. But I'm back. Back like we never left. You good, bro?
Yeah, man.
All right. Yeah. I'm saying, he fought four YouTubers. Then he fought a retired wrestler out of shape. Um, and I guess that's supposed to prove he's a boxer. Let me tell you something, man. All right. So you go to to the Nate Robinson fight. When Nate Robinson was asleep, I give a credit to Jake Paul. But you have to understand, in all of Jake Paul's fights, I've never seen him display a classic masterclass of boxing. I've never okay, when you would think about a professional fighter against a YouTuber. You think it's supposed to be this boxing clinic. But Jake Paul has he really what I've seen,
Oh yeah, hey, let me say this real quick. Let me tell you, and you try to stop moving while you talking, but I can hear that. I know the people gonna hear it. Like,
all right, yeah.
you feel? I hear that shit clearly. Like, I hear you though, but it's like it's muffled a little bit.
All right, let me all right. Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
All right. Yeah, basically what I was saying, I've never seen him display a masterclass. Like, like I said, if you think of an amateur fighter fighting a professional fighter, you think, okay, it's supposed to be a boxing masterclass. Professional fighter fighting a YouTuber is supposed to be just a total domination, boxing clinic. But when you look at Jake Paul's fight, especially his Nate Robinson fight, it's one punch and it's over. And you saw, if you ever seen a Nate Robinson fight, Nate Robinson, he wasn't doing that bad in the first maybe couple of seconds, 10, 15 seconds in the fight.
Nate Robinson wasn't doing that bad.
Not not early in the fight.
Nah, everything. He probably wasn't looking bad for a street fighter.
Yeah, I mean he was. I think he landed a couple. He had good defense, but then he got overly aggressive. He came in there and started swinging. And do you know, if y'all can go back to that fight, you will realize Jake Paul was just throwing. I'm being dead serious. He didn't. It's not like he countered him. Slip overhand right, nothing like that. He was throwing punches with his eyes closed. Like that's he has not, because you think, okay, he's been training for 3 years. He's not fought a professional boxer, so therefore he's not a professional boxer. Like, that's literally how it works.
I agree with that.
You think he's a professional boxer because he's fought these YouTubers, out of shape wrestler, but and it's giving off the impression, okay, he really knows what he's doing. But because he's never fought a professional fighter before, a professional boxer, he really isn't one. So that's the thing. You saw the Nate Robinson fight. He was closing his eyes and swinging, and he landed a good shot on Nate Robinson. Knocked him out cold. It was a nice knockout. Nothing to take away from him. Okay, and like I said, it makes him look better than he actually is, because he's fighting YouTubers who really never put on boxing gloves, and he's really never put on boxing gloves. Really, he has, of course, but he's really never experienced a pro fight. But he has a little bit of experience in the ring, compared to them.
But you got to understand this though, and I agree with what you said. Got to understand this. Like, it's both sides of the dude's good. Zab Judah said he was good. What's his name? E. Cunningham, like, Hill. And that he got actual is like Steve Cunningham, like Regis Pro, fight on his undercard. So that kind of validates him as well. I just feel like Jake Paul. No, but go ahead, Cole. It's on you.
Well, yeah, and that the fact that Regis Progress is fighting on the undercard of any Jake Paul fight is utterly disrespectful, bro. Like, that is like the top, because an undercard are the lesser fighters for the main card. Undercards are the lesser, like I said, lesser fighters for the main card. If I'm Regis Progress or anybody, and I'm offered to fight on the undercard of Jake Paul, I'm not doing it. It's too much to disrespect. Jake Paul should be fighting on somebody's undercard.
I gotta disagree with you on that. I gotta disagree with you on that though. When it comes down to, of course, it disrespect hardcore boxing fans like me and your eyes, of course, disrespect mockery and all that shit. But one thing we have to think about is, they paying to see Jake Paul, man, and it's sad to say it, but they is. They know how people in boxing is not really a fan for the sport. They're a fan of the bullshit. Like, for example, like, let's just say, Regis Prograis would have held his own card with that one fighter he fought. With, what's his name? When you know who he just fought. Guess that he would have did his own card with that shit. There's no way he wouldn't have. There's no way he wouldn't have pulled in that many tickets like he did with Jake Paul. So
oh no, that's true. That's true. I'm just saying it's really disrespectful to him from a boxing standpoint to be fighting on Jake Paul's undercard. I mean, because like I said, undercards are the they're supposed to be the lesser fighters than the main card. And like I said, Jake Paul he's tricked people to think he's a real boxer because he really hasn't fought anybody yet. And like I said, people he has fought, he had his eyes closed and he knocked out Nate Robinson, which was nice. I'm not taking anything away from him. But when they really got into it, Jake Paul he didn't really show no crazy boxing skills.
Hell no, he didn't. He don't show no. He didn't show no crazy boxing skills.
Like I said, 4 inches on Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson went in there, start swinging, and he caught him. But Jake Paul's eyes were closed too. And matter of fact, I know somebody after that fight, they were like, "Yo, this is why you can't play boxing." And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because do you realize all Jake Paul has been doing is playing boxing? Anybody realize that? Jake Paul has not been. He's really been playing boxing.
When he first started, see, you saying that because of the caliber fighters that he's playing boxing because he ain't facing no real boxer. That's why you say that, and I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like this though. You gotta understand, like that man, to me compared to me and you, he's a clown. Jake Paul, on the other, he's a trainer and he's getting money from it. And he's bringing some light to the sport. You think I want to say this shit? I don't want to say this shit about Jake Paul, but it's a lot more people that know about boxing because of Jake Paul.
No. Wait, let me tell you something, because that is the theory. Trust me, that's the theory. That, okay, Jake Paul has a whole bunch of casuals, and, well, if Jake Paul brings the casuals to the sport and watch Jake Paul, maybe they'll catch the undercard, maybe they'll get interested in boxing. But here's people fail to realize. That's the theory. But have you ever been to a Jake Paul live stream? Do you know what them kids are doing, bro?
What?
Matter of fact, I don't know. Was it what's that boy name? Chris Eubanks?
Yeah.
I think he was fighting on Jake Paul undercard, right?
He was. I think. Yeah.
It was Chris Eubanks. I know Regis Progress was fighting on it. I was in a live stream. You know what they said, bro?
What?
You said, I heard in multiple live streams. Oh, these are the trash people fighting right now. These are the randoms fighting. They don't look at the undercards, man. Like, majority of people going to Jake Paul come from Jake Paul YouTubers, YouTube people, kids. They're not looking at the undercards. They're skipping them. They said these is the They call. Oh my! It's funny. They said these are the prelims. That's what I heard one of the streams call them the prelims. So they're not watching the fight. They're waiting for the Jake Paul fight. So in theory, okay, they should learn about Chris Eubanks. That's the theory, and it makes total sense. That's what should happen. But they're not doing it because they don't care about boxing. Like, you understand that they don't care. They care about Jake Paul. They come to watch Jake Paul. And Jake Paul, he's a good, in terms of economics, he's a good economics. Like I said, economically speaking, he's good for boxing. In terms of bringing money, events, economy, he's good. But in terms of just the health of the sport and really raising the ethos of the sport, or the spirit, stuff like that, he's really not good he's not good. Like I said, he's been playing boxing because he keeps fighting these blue YouTubers and everything. And okay, and like I said, I'm not saying go fight Errol Spence because that wouldn't be fair. But if you really show you really dedicate to this, go pro. Like, really fight real people. 12 rounds. Like I said,
he only had 2-3 fights so far. Now, this is what I will say: if he has 7 fucking MMA fighters under his belt, then I could kind of, all right, hey, Paul, you tripping now? You got to fight some real boxing. But in my opinion, this is the last time we're gonna get him an MMA fighter. After this, if he don't step it up, at least face like a Andre Berto or some shit like that.
But he be killed by. Go ahead, my fault.
Andre Berto beat his ass though.
Yeah,
He might.
he would kill Jake Paul. Like Jake
I
Paul.
don't know. I don't know
What?
because what you mean? What I'm gonna say it. Jake Paul got some real power, man. That's what dude.
Okay.
Like he got power.
Right. Okay.
You feel me? So he catches Andre Berto flush. He can knock. I can see Andre. He hurt him hurting Andre
Okay.
Berto. Now listen, I got Andre Berto fight. And you ask me what's my prediction on Roy Andre Berto, of course I got to roll with the boxer. But Jake Paul on the other, he got that power to hurt Chinny Berto.
But here's my question. What's your sample size though? You pulling from Jake? You pulling from Nate Robinson? One of the other YouTuber, KSI's little brother, and Ben Askren.
That don't even count. Those don't even count.
Those are four opponents. That's your whole thinking, your whole idea of Jake Paul's skill set is based off of three YouTubers and one MMA fighter. That's why it's not reliable.
You don't get no credit. We don't give him no credit for that. Like,
oh no, I'm not talking about credit. I'm just saying your whole idea of who Jake Paul is as a boxer is based off of those fights, and that's not reliable. We know who Andre Berto is, Fight of the Year. He was in Fight of the Year with Victor Ortiz. We know who Andre Berto is. Okay, we saw him knock somebody's headgear off in sparring. He is a real boxer. He's been in there with good fighters. He is a seasoned pro boxer. Been there with Mayweather.
But look, the boy doing something right. We've been talking about him for 10 minutes.
Oh no, he's doing. Oh no. Here's what you gotta understand. This ain't nothing against Jake Paul. Okay, because Jake, if I was, I'll be doing the same thing. Okay, Jake Paul is getting his. He's doing something right. He's marketing. He's getting revenue off of this. He's doing the smart thing. This ain't got really nothing to do with Jake Paul personally. He's still playing boxing, but he doesn't really take the sport seriously as you think he does. And he may say that, but he hasn't gone pro yet. So that should tell you everything. He hasn't really gone pro yet. So that should tell you everything. Like I said,
Jake Paul's bigger than the pro game though. But
you said what?
I don't think he can make it against these pros though.
No, he would get. And like I said, my whole thing is, here's the model opponent. I said Jake Paul. Like I said, it wouldn't be fair to put him there with Spence, right? Or like Charlo's, because that wouldn't be fair. You jumping him up to the elites. I say, you know what? To be fair, let's be fair to Jake Paul. Okay, Jake, if you really want to show you're dedicated, go pro and fight Vidal Riley. You might know who Vidal Riley is, Mayweather Boxing Club. Yeah, he has a few pro fights on his belt. He's a good amateur career. He's a cruiserweight, same height, same weight. He has a few pro fights on his belt. He's undefeated. Knockouts. I think all of his fights come from knockouts. Fight him. You beat him. I will shut up. I won't even say anything else. But you can't just keep on doing all this and then you just claim you're a boxer. Okay, because like I said, it made me sick because it was like, yo, Nate after he fought Nate Robinson, he beat Nate Robinson, and I saw somebody on Instagram say Nate Robinson to show you why you can't play boxing. And
that Ryan Garcia said that shit.
Right, but it rubbed me the wrong way though, because how can Jake Paul show anybody that you can't play boxing? Like they say, yeah, Jake been training for you. Jake is not a real boxer. Like, can we just set that in stone? Like,
Jake Paul's a troll, yo. You can't take that man stay serious, man.
Well, he is a troll, but people really gotta realize this man's not a real boxer. Like, he's not a seasoned. He's not a professional. Really, he's not a real boxer. So we kind of gotta like step away, like all the the way we talk and everything about his fights and everything. You gotta realize he's just playing around with this stuff because he's not taking it really seriously. Like, he hasn't really gone pro yet. He's still fighting. Now I will give him respect for this Tyron Woodley fight though, because he is going up in MMA fighter class. Although Tyron Woodley will beat him, I still give him respect for it.
You said who will beat him?
Tyron Woodley.
He ain't gonna beat no damn Jake Paul.
Okay, so I understand why you say that. Go to Tyron Woodley boxing highlights You know, he hit him hitting the pads, and you can come back to me on that one. Because I was like,
hold up. Listen, I ain't never said that he couldn't hit no pass. Shit.
no. I'm saying, well, he's a striker. He's been striking before. You know, he's an experienced striker. But have you seen him hitting the pads though? Like I'm talking about, you know, just pad work, mid work.
I ain't seen no.
He's quick. He has head movement. He has power. Yeah, he knows what he's doing, bro.
All quick. What are you talking about?
No, Jake Paul. Like I said, your whole idea of Jake Paul is everybody's whole idea of Jake Paul is based on Ben Askren, his fights with Ben Askren, Nate Robinson, Deji KSI little brother, and I think his name is Asan Gibb. I don't even know how you say his name. That's your whole idea of Jake Paul, based off of 3 YouTuber fights and a fight against a fat retired pro wrestler. That's your whole idea of who Jake Paul is as a boxer.
But you gotta understand, there's people that's actually boxers co-signing that the man can fight, though.
Right, right. Everybody does that, though. Yeah, everybody. What?
Not everybody does that. Not everybody saying Logan Paul can fight.
Yo, what? That I was just about to say that. Yo, you did you go to? They said Logan Paul was knocking out pro fighters. No. Because they do that. They meet riot and everything, and then they'll say I promise you, they'll say anything out to the public. Oh yeah, Jake Paul. He's been. They said that the first time when he fought Deji.
Jab, you look like a realist. I don't think Zab was a lie.
Nah, he's bro. I bet you he's capping. And they do that not just with Jake Paul. Mike Tyson. What would they say about Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson beating up pro fighters. Yo, Mike Tyson, when he fought Roy Jones Jr., it didn't really live up to the hype. Like people, they do kind of meat riot, bro. I really doubt. I mean, he said he could fight, but look what we saw against Nate Robinson and Ben Askren. You know,
he didn't do bad. He didn't do bad to me versus Ben Askren.
Right.
I just thought that I'm not gonna give him much credit because Ben Askren not no boxer, he a wrestler, as you say, but he didn't look bad. He was throwing shots to the body. You were throwing a jab out there.
But you have to look at his technique though. Like, replay the fight. Like he didn't look like he knew what he was really doing. Like, you know, he was throwing, you know, a 1-2 and everything like that. But it really wasn't just total like a pro boxer's kind of aura that he was in. Like, I mean, he knew basic 1-2 like stuff like that. But he didn't have crazy hair movement. He wasn't, you know, he didn't move like a boxer. That's for one. He threw 1-2, and then Ben Askren, of course, he has almost a beer belly. Not worked out, and he hit Ben Askren with 1-2. Ben Askren is so hittable. I mean, like I said, if he's that good, he should be fighting pro fighters by now. Why did he fight Ben Askren? That's what I'm saying.
Look, I agree. He should have fought. He could step up a position, and according to your opinion, you think Taiwan is that guy? What's his name? Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
You think he that guy? You feel me? So, my whole thing is this: he gives me that Deontay Wilder aspect, meaning that he can't really box, not a good boxer and shit like that, but he do got that eraser, man. That's scary, man. And Willie don't got the best chin out there, man. He ain't got the best.
I think. Well, here's what you gotta do, man. You gotta look up Tyron Woodley hitting the mitts, because matter of fact, you know what I did, man? Because I was like. I thought about this. I said, well, maybe everybody looks good hitting the mitts. Maybe that's it. But I literally compare Ben Askren.
He got hands. Ain't nobody denying that.
Yeah, I compare Ben Askren's mitt work to Tyron Woodley, and it's like night and day. Tyron Woodley, he was fast. He had head movement. You know, they did body work. He was digging in, you know, on a heavy bag. Like he looked like he was a professional boxer. Like it was almost Mayweather-esque. I'm not even gonna say Mayweather. Almost, you know, it was far from Mayweather, but he was quick. He had head movement. That's somebody you've never seen nobody who's fighting Jake Paul like that, man.
I ain't never seen him against nobody like that on a public stage. But we don't know who Jake Paul is sparring. We don't know, you know. Like,
yeah, but release the sparring footage, bro. That's what I'm
I
saying
mean,
too. That's a good thing too that you brought that up, because all these he's supposed to be beating people up, and then you hear how he clips certain he clipped he fought an MMA fighter in sparring, and he clipped a certain clip out. You know, he got like a portion of it out and released that to make it seem like he was really beating this dude up. The dude released a whole Instagram rant and everything, talking about how he beat Jake Paul up and he destroyed him in sparring, and how he was upset that Jake Paul was just going, he was cutting certain parts out, like
yeah,
that.
that's like some troll ass Jake Paul to do. But I'm just saying, we ain't. Let's not even speak on that then, because that's nor here nor there, and we ain't got no proof what he has done this morning. But on that stage, man, listen, Nate Robinson ain't no real boxer, but Nate Robinson always been known as a guy that have quick hands and been known to be a what you call it, one of those roughnecks. What you call it, one of those guys that been known to fight even in the NBA. Now I understand this is boxing. I'm boy EBT for the hit me with that, and they can't play with boxing, but the same shit goes to Jake Paul. You feel me? What I feel like Jake Paul should do is just be like, just say, I'm the king, I'm the best boxer YouTuber out there, instead of trying to call himself a good boxer. Period. I feel like he should just ride that wave of the YouTube boxers, you know, and I feel like Jake Paul. I'm not gonna even lie, man. I think Jake Paul has the power to flatten Woodley. I'm
He
gonna
might have
say
the
it, man.
power because, I mean, raw power is, that's, but you also know about one thing. Jake Paul always fights somebody with a height advantage. Okay.
That's advantage too.
He was way bigger than Nate Robinson. And like I said, I'm not one to make excuses and everything. Nate Robinson was probably still lots of they're the same size. But it's just like Jake Paul. And I really don't even want to give this man like, airtime or whatever, but he already has enough clout. But he always fights somebody, he's not experienced at all, but at least some experience throwing hands.
So the man only fought 3 times. Like, it ain't like he got 10 fights on his belt or some shit like that.
Right. He's not, like I said, he's not really experienced, but he always fights somebody he's more experienced than, and somebody he's way bigger than. So I mean, fight somebody your size, your experience, or somebody your size and a pro boxer. Like I said, and then we can talk. But I think Tyron Woodley's a good step, and I think he's underestimating, Tyron Woodley, because he's underestimating Tyron Woodley for the mere fact that he took the fight.
That's he not over. He might be underestimating Tyron Woodley in the fact of the matter of feeling like he gonna beat Tyron Woodley, but Jake Paul talks so much shit. He knows how pressing a loss will be. That motivates. Listen. I'm not the biggest Jake Paul fan. That motivates Jake Paul, man. The fact that people gonna destroy Jake Paul if he lose. Oh, you lost to a guy that ain't even a boxer. He knows that shit. That motivates him even more to beat on Tyron Woodley.
But here's the thing: I wouldn't even clown Jake Paul if he lost to Tyron Woodley, because, like I said,
I think you would a little.
No, only because
I told you so.
But like I said, I don't, because I know Jake Paul's not a real boxer. I can't clown him because, like you said, oh, you lost to an MMA fighter, but Jake Paul isn't really in skill level. He's not much different from an MMA fighter in terms of boxing skill. He really is not much different from an MMA fighter. He's not. It's not like he's a pro boxer and just got like if McGregor would have beat Mayweather, then you can really clown Mayweather for losing to an MMA fighter. But it's not really like that, because Jake Paul is around that skill level anyway. He's not even really a real boxer in terms of skill level.
A lot of people hate Jake Paul regardless of what. It don't matter if Jake Paul lost at a one-on-one basketball game, he will still get clowned for that shit. Like, Jake Paul has like that type of swagger that you want to see lose. Like, the person that talks shit, they ain't really all that. Like, they're father. You know what I mean? He got like that type of. He's boisterous and all that shit. People want to see people like that lose. Period.
And that's true. I mean, that's true. And like I said, but in terms of the prediction, Tyron Woodley is the best opponent that Jake Paul has fought. Tyron Woodley would knock Ben Askren out, and that's in my opinion. And,
yeah, he would.
And I think Tyron Woodley, he's fast. He has good head movement. I saw him. I saw him hitting like I
Tyrone been
said.
a lot force though. He ain't fresh like Jake. Let's keep going.
Right, but Tyron Woodley has more combat experience than Jake. Okay, he's not
Yeah,
like I said, he's not as fresh, but more combat experience. You
yeah,
know,
just Ben Askren did too.
yeah, but I'm talking about more striking because Ben, and in that fight, I think I'm not even gonna take him away from Jake Paul, but
Wrestler, you like sometimes.
right, you do, but that's not his game really at all. But I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
but you
take it.
talk about a dude that is really not his game though. Don't even have no experience at it, so it's like that's not his game. It's a matter what Jake Paul is. So you
Right,
gonna
well,
go.
it was. I think it was a fair fight, really. Ben asking Jake Paul, but it
Man,
was
I
a
thought
fair
that was
fight, and it really wasn't a fair fight because it's like, you know, it's hard because Jake Paul, it was a fair fight, but it really wasn't. They weren't equal in terms of just overall ability. But I think Tyron Woodley, he's gonna get it done. I think he's a brawler. He's tough, and he's a like I said he's tough. He's strong. He knows how to grapple, and if he can bully, what he will probably do is walk Jake Paul down and kind of like
you
try to
know
bully him.
we know that chin been tapped before though.
Right, but
So Willie, you
we
know that
don't
right?
we don't even really know Jake Paul's real power either. I mean, we don't really know like how
We
powerful he
can't
really is.
disagree with you 1,000% on that because, like I said, even with Deontay, people say when he fought 29 pounds, people say, "Oh, Deontay, we don't know what his power at." He fought 20. I always tell you this: if you are able to put that dude down the street that work at your local Walmart, if you are able to put him to bed with one punch, you have to have some type of power, man. You have to.
Well, no, I'm not saying he doesn't have any power, but you have to see a certain
You,
sense of it too. Like it wasn't
like
really a one punch knockout. Like Nate Robinson, he was kind of like leaning forward and he kind of just got ate stuff. Well, he did go to sleep though, but
it was big though. You feel me? It wasn't like no technical knockout. Those. When do you see those type of knockouts anymore? You really don't even see those knockouts anymore unless you're watching Wilder. And usually knockout nowadays is like the referee jumping in, shit like that. He's putting guys to sleep though.
and I think Tyron Woodley might be able to put Nate Robinson to sleep though. I don't think Jake Paul has like crazy, incomparable power to Tyron Woodley at all.
I think he got a little more power than Willie, especially with the gloves on.
I mean, it's definitely possible. I'm not going to deny it, but
Willie get twisted. Willie got up, and I feel he could hurt Jake Paul. But
I think Woodley's so tough though. Like, and then here's another thing too. But I say this because I don't want to go too long on this. But here's another thing. Jake Paul really isn't used to being punched in the face in terms of in a real fight.
now that's true.
He's not really used to being punched in the face, like
Yeah,
hit
that's a
flush.
good. We need somebody that tapped into Jake. We
Yeah,
definitely need some.
he need to feel a real glove. I'm talking about a straight boom. Cause like that Nate Robinson fight and them other fights, he might get taps, stuff like that. I'm talking about a real boom.
We need some. We need somebody to land a full punch, like a clean haymaker punch on that chin. Nobody has done it yet.
Right, and he might get shell shocked because that first time you fighting and everything, you get hit. He might get it might do something to him the first time. Wake him up a little bit. But I know for a fact Tyron Woodley, especially knowing that martial arts and everything, he's a tough fighter, and I know what he's gonna do. I think he's gonna attempt to try to bully him and brawl with him and everything, make it dirty and like Sean Porter type thing.
My whole thing with Jake Paul is this, as you just said. I want to see what happens when somebody do tap that chin, and I want to see somebody that could drown him and take him after the four, after those first 4 rounds and see what he got then.
Yeah, because I mean, how many rounds has he really done though? Think about it.
Not a lot. When you got power, you don't have to. They say you don't get paid for overtime. When you got power, you don't have to worry about rounds.
Right, but like I said, it only takes one person to get in there with Jake Paul who really knows what they're doing, bro, and it can really, who actually knows at least a little bit what they're doing, and it might really be a disaster, man. I'm talking about a guy who knows the concept of head movement, kind of discipline, power, a tough guy like Tyron Woodley. and it might be. I think it's gonna be a nightmare for Jake Paul. I think Tyron Woodley.
I don't think it's gonna be a nightmare. I think it's gonna be a tough fight for Jake Paul. I think a person that will give Jake Paul a nightmare is somebody that, as you said, is completely disciplined. Somebody that could use their feet.
A
Somebody
pro
that
boxer.
can a pro boxer. Somebody go to feints in there. So you feel me? Somebody that can mix it up. Like I feel like he should have just fought. Even though I don't give a fuck about the signs. I still feel Regis Progress would absolutely destroy him. But even with Jake Paul being bigger, but I feel like him being on the undercard, they could have just fought. But I don't feel like Jake Paul is ready for that though.
Right, Jake Paul isn't really. I mean, like I said, you've been so used to fighting dudes who are not pro boxers. You really don't. He would get so surprised because the stuff that it's too. You can tell it's really just too easy, and it's not because Jake Paul is just so much better, but it's just these guys are so bad. Like it's too easy. That Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, you shouldn't be able to throw a 1-2 punch and knock your opponent. And well, you shouldn't be able to throw a 1-2 punch and land flush and knock your opponent out, man. It shouldn't be that easy unless you're Wilder or something. But
Hey, you never know. They say people with that type of power come once a dozen. What's the phrase? One time in a dozen. Shit, he might be that.
but also
Wilder.
he couldn't knock Desi out though, man. You understand that too.
That was his first fight. I feel like he's way stronger. I really feel like Wade Paul has been. I mean, not I said Wade Paul. I feel like Jake Paul has been lifting a lot more weight since that fight, and it is possible to get a lot stronger over time. Deontay Wilder, I'm quite sure, in his 20th fight, he isn't as strong as he was in his 27th fight. Over time, he's just gonna get stronger. So I really wouldn't put too much pressure on that first fight, and I'm quite sure if they fought again, Jake Paul to get rid of him this time around.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Desi, he ain't really. But like I said, well, and you also got to take into account what were these guys' chins like too, because you mean tell me if Mayweather would have fought all these guys, he couldn't stop one of he couldn't stop him like Jake Paul did, or Andre Berto, like dudes. I mean, I'm talking about like any boxer, name a boxer.
Talking about like Berto can't stop who? Stop who?
Like
Thompson?
Askren.
I don't know.
You don't think Andre Berto could stop Ben Askren?
Hell yeah, he could stop him, but what type of stoppage though?
I'm talking about like 1-2 done.
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
No, I think Berto he could stop him. I definitely think Berto could stop him. But let me take that back. Berto do got a lethal uppercut that I could see him letting him.
Do you see him knocking the headgear off of his sparring partner, bro? That uppercut. The headgear flew off.
We know Berto got power, but see when you put in guys on Queer Street with point punch, that is different type of power, yo.
But I mean, that was like it was kind of like a flash. I think that was a flash knockdown though.
Flasher. That was not no flasher.
That Askren fight.
I thought it was a flasher watching it live, but I watched it back.
Nah, he got straight up from it. He took a little bit, but he got up from that. That wasn't no Nate Robinson type stuff, bro.
You can get it wasn't. But if he would have kept going, it actually put him to sleep.
No, he probably would have done way worse if he kept going. But I think that was just a regular knockdown, bro. I think number one, I thought it was stopped too early, but nothing would have changed, of course. But like that wasn't no straight up. That wasn't really that bad. Like Ben Askren got hit with a 1-2 and just fell, and he was ready to go, and that was questionable too because how can you take Robbie Lawler's power with almost bare knuckle gloves, but you can't take Jake Paul's?
He got up hurt, yo. My mama, he got up hurt.
No, he probably was hurt, but I don't think it was anything crazy like, just what happened to Nate Robinson. Like I don't think it was. I mean, he like I said, he got up and he was ready to fight again.
He got up. Yeah, of course, he's a fighter. He got hurt, but if you look at his feet, slowly watch his feet. He was hurt. The legs don't lie. His feet was hurt. When I was watching it live, I was like, "No, you stopped it." After I watched it back, I said, "Oh, yo, he was hurt."
No, you said he got hurt. I don't know about Hart though.
He was hurt.
You said Ben Askren.
But that's what hurt.
No, you say he got heart. I don't know about that. I don't know about that though.
Well, you said you don't know about that. Shit, he wanted to keep.
Because if you got heart, you shouldn't be smiling after you just got knocked out. You would have smiled with your wife walking back to the stage, smiling. You and your wife smiling too, after you just got knocked out in front of the world. Couldn't be me.
People smile like that sometimes from embarrassment too, bro.
No, they were smiling like they just laughed their way to the bank, bro. There was no nervous laugh. He was smiling. Him and his wife got a big old grin on their face, bro. So you talking about heart? I don't know about that, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying though. He didn't like he want. Is that what you said?
You said what?
Did he like he wanted to quit?
No, I think it's possible he just went in there. I don't because no, but when I say he threw the fight, that makes it seem like if I don't think he could have beaten Jake Paul even if he really did take it 100% serious. But I didn't think he.
I don't think he threw the fight. If he threw the fight, he was just laid there and just play possum. Like, oh, I'm really hurt and I can't get up. That like some Malik Scott shit.
Well, I mean, I don't think he really wanted to compete like that. I mean, because if he really took this fight seriously, who's smiling with their wife walking to backstage after you got knocked out?
Yeah, you smiling because you got knocked out, but I heard he got a hell of a paycheck for it.
Yeah, so that's why he was smiling. Like, I feel like he was just trying to laugh his way to the bank, bro.
Yeah, you got knocked out, but you got paid. You got to understand, big payday. He basically got $1 million. Probably got knocked to get knocked out. How much he got paid? So it's like, yeah, I got knocked out, but I got to pay that.
Right, but that if you really wanted to beat him, like you wouldn't be smiling. That's all I'm saying. It's your wife.
Big Paul, way too. To not even be, we talk about him more than the boxers, man.
Yeah. But yeah,
good.
In that one right there, bro.
Tyron Woodley.